Hey friends, Christy here with Little Roots Ranch, and today I am coming to you from near the woodpile, which is an overlooked area, which is perfect for the topic today, which is making your own fertilizer using weeds and a 5-gallon or smaller bucket through the process of fermentation. Now, generally, I do this early in the spring and continue making it. However, this year has been so crazy, and so I'm just getting around to making it. And I want to share the process with you and share why I use it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I personally am using a 5-gallon bucket, but it's really easy, especially if you have a smaller garden, to make a much smaller batch. And the best way to make your own fertilizer is to think about what you're going to use fairly quickly. And it's better to make several smaller batches as opposed to one large. Oh, hi, kitty. I don't know if you can see the kitty. Say hi, Meeks. Say hi. Anyways, oops, I'll set you down. Like I was saying, it's better to make several smaller batches then make one large batch if you don't have that much to use with. And one thing to keep in mind is that when applied to the plants, generally it's applied to the leaves or foliar, but is that it gets diluted. And there's a lot of different numbers for dilution. I usually use 1 part of the fermented stinging nettle or whatever it'll be. I'll get to the actual ingredients in just a minute, for every 10 parts of water. And it's not necessarily like a science kind of, or where it has to be exactly to the gram, though you can do that. But I just kind of eyeball it and do that. I've seen as high as a quarter of the solution and 3/4 water, but it's really up to you. And if you're just starting out, a lower dilution or higher dilution is always better, so the 1 to 10. But anyway, so behind me stands, I think there's a kitty cat. Behind me stands a bunch of weeds. So namely here, I've got stinging nettle, but I've also, you can see right there, my beautiful crop of thistle, and I've got blackberries, and I've got a whole bunch of things. And so my personal favorite thing to use is stinging nettle. If you don't have stinging nettle, the second best thing in my opinion would be to use the thistles. And if you realistically, you can use any combination of weeds. And if you don't have any weeds whatsoever, you can actually also use grass. Of course, the items that you incorporate into it will make a difference. So I'm going to give a super quick overview of the process, explain the different plant materials, and then actually make it in front of you, though it will finish in the next weekish, and that is weather dependent, but it's been really warm and I'm going to put it in my greenhouse. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bucket and I'm going to jam pack it with weeds, majority stinging nettle. And then I'm going to use water, which I have well water, so it doesn't have chlorine, which does hinder the ferment process. But then, as alluded to, I'm going to ferment this, which just means leaving it and stirring it every day to get a little bit, or pouring it from bucket to bucket or container to container. And then it'll start getting really stinky. Stinky means good though, but it'll start getting really stinky and you'll start seeing it bubble and foam. And then when that stops bubbling and foaming, then you know it's ready. In the summer, that generally is about anywhere from 3 to 7 days. The hotter it is, the faster it'll go. And if it's cooler, like I usually start this early in the spring, and so it takes a little bit longer to get started. And I put it in my hothouse, which has a heater, but that takes a little bit longer. But if you're just starting it now like I am, I anticipate between 3 to 7 days of it being ready. It also a little bit depends on the plant material and kind of just a bunch of other things, but basically you get the gist. And then so when it stops bubbling, and then I'll take out all of the plant material and just leaving the liquid, or you could pour, if you have a smaller portion, you can pour it through like a strainer of some form or whatnot. And then you have your concentrate and you dilute that, and you can apply it multiple different ways. Right now, most of my plants are small and don't have actual fruit or vegetable on them, and so I do foliar as well as in the ground, and that's diluted on 1 to 10. But if I was spraying it like later in the season or whatever, and I had vegetables, even though it's still fine, I would probably just put it into the ground. You can still spray it. If you're using, like, obviously you don't want to use something that's like toxic or whatever. But anyways, okay, so I talked a brief overview of the process, but I want to talk about the ingredients specifically. So I have stinging nettle right here, which is my personal favorite. Stinging nettle has roots, and this is kind of the indicator to help you to understand what you should use. And what you want to think about is what mines deepest into the earth to get the most minerals and vitamins and all of that stuff. And so stinging nettle for me is it. I don't remember offhand all of the stuff, but it has several vitamins, tons of minerals, phosphorus, calcium, iron, potassium. I can't remember everything. And I've read that it actually really helps against fungal diseases. So it's a good candidate as your different things are growing, but I'm going to try it this year heavy on my peach tree and then also on my winter squashes and see if it kind of holds powdery mildew at bay. Granted, everything will succumb to powdery mildew at some point, but it really makes a difference, at least in plant health, that I have noticed. And so I'm very religious about this. I know a lot of people ask me, what fertilizers do you use? And honestly, I don't use that many. I make a lot of this stuff. This year I'm late, but I make a lot of the fermented stuff. And I use my chicken manure, which is just what the chickens produce mixed with their bedding, which is pine shavings, and then I let that sit for a while. I can also do compost tea and stuff like that, but I save it up during the winter and then use it before planting in the spring. And that gives me a pretty complete, everything actually. So if you don't have stinging nettle, your next best thing, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter, but the next best thing would be to use the thistle. If you don't have thistle, dandelions are great. And if you don't have any weeds at all, I mentioned earlier, but using grass is actually really high nitrogen. And it's the same process. You just pack your 5-gallon bucket or whatever container you're using, and you pack it with the green material, add water. A caveat to that is that you don't really want to use chlorinated water. So if you're on city water or something like that, you're gonna wanna try and capture rainwater or purchase water so that I'm falling over, so that you're not, because if there's chlorine in it, and the process of fermentation is to create all that microbial activity, and you don't want to kill all of that with the chlorine. So I'm well water, so my water will go directly in here, but if you are on city water, then you might want to do it a little bit differently. But okay, sorry, I just realized my little grippy thing came off in my pocket for my my snips. All right, so step number 1 is to fill the bucket or container. So for stinging nettle, I generally use 1 glove, 1 pair of snips, and tongs. And you don't have to mince it into little pieces or anything like that, but smaller pieces make it easier to go into the bucket. And so usually if I need help with grabbing it, I'll usually use these, or I can just use my gloved hand to grab it and to put it in there. If you're nervous about working with stinging nettle, like the very first time I ever did it, I wore long sleeves, gloves, multiple pairs of tongs, whatever you're comfortable with. I do feel like over the years, I've built up an immunity to stinging nettle, and I actually do apply it to myself, like if I have any kind of pains or anything like that, or my left ankle always hurts. So every spring I get the stinging nettle on my ankle, and I do think it makes a difference. So, but anyways, so you'll just want to go ahead and collect all of your materials. So with this is just stinging nettle, as you can see, and you're putting it in the bucket and just compressing it, right? So let me get a little bit more, and then I'll bring you back for the next step. So let me fill the bucket. Be right back. Oh, I did want to show you, if using the tongs, how you use them. So basically, so you can see right there, right? Yeah. So I grab the top part, and then I bring my hand in there, and then I put it into the bucket. You can use another gloved hand. I keep an ungloved hand, but I've done it a lot, and I don't have reactions to stinging nettle anymore. But anyway, so I wanted to show you that. Let me bring you back to the next step. Okay, so I have filled my 5-gallon bucket up. I compressed them down, and I have about 3/4 the way full of stinging nettle. There's a few extra handfuls of grass and a few other things. But one thing, if it's available to you, is if you'll notice, I'm kind of in a forest setting, and because I am, and I'm lucky enough to my property to have old forest. And so what I'm going to do is just grab a scoop of that dirt. It's undisturbed and beautiful, and so I'm just going to grab a scoop of that, and it's got some of the old pine needles, there we go, and some of the dirt, and I'm just going to add it in on top there, and then we'll go over to our watering thing now. Sorry, ow. Half the show is watching me get out of there. Okay, so let me switch hands here. Okay, sorry about that. So there's a bunch of different things that can be used, and the process of fermenting your own fertilizer is nothing new. It's been around, and there's lots of different ways to do it. I've seen it with alfalfa and molasses. I've seen it with fish. I've seen it, there's compost teas and compost, what's the stuff that's thicker than tea? I don't remember, but this is the process that I really enjoy. And also I find that it's really accessible to a lot of people because, stinging nettle is kind of everywhere. But if you don't have it, everyone has grass. And what a wonderful nitrogen boost for your plants. And everything's all natural. You know where it came from and stuff. Of course, if you spray your yard, you may not want to use that grass, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm over here by my hose bib, and the next step is to get water in here. So let me see here. Probably gonna spill it everywhere because it comes pretty fast. There we go. And so I'm gonna put it just so it's barely covering it. That looks about right. I'll get that pushed down, and I'm gonna set this. It is stinky, so you don't want to keep it in your house. I find the smell not offensive and more of a natural, but like with a component of rot. So it's up to you. If you have a very sensitive nose, keep it further away from your house. But one of the things you really, really want to make sure is that you're stirring it every day, or pouring bucket to bucket or container to container. And it's important to get that water moving and get that infusion of oxygen in the stirring. And again, so this looks nothing special right now, but within a few days it will start, or even tomorrow, and I'll post pictures on Facebook and Instagram, but it'll start to get that white layer, and you'll see it's like bubbly or whatever, and it'll take on a slight smell. And then when it stops, it's ready to use. So it's really amazing, really awesome, something I really love. But I just wanted to share it with you. But anyways, so I wanted to get feedback if you guys have ever used any kind of fermented fertilizer in the past, or what you've used, or any successes or anything that you've learned. And if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend trying it. And so I'm gonna go get a stick, mix this up, or give it a good stir, and then go set it somewhere where the rain won't fill it up, but that it'll be warm and I'll remember to stir. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I wish you well on your fermented fertilizer journey and see you next time. Happy gardening. Bye.